pupils, parents, and guardians. Let me start by thanking you for being a part of all our remote learning platforms, particularly our television program, The Classroom in Your Home. Each feedback has been awesome. Good job, you. Our teachers have been working assiduously to bridge the learning loss during this critical period. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Classroom in Your Home has been extended to accommodate the lower primary classes and a dedicated lesson to cater for our special needs pupils in line with our mandate of providing an all-inclusive and quality basic education in our dear state. This program is fully sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and supported by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board under the COVID-19 Blended Learning Intervention Initiative. Please encourage your wards to tune in and take every advantage of this laudable program. Also remember, this pandemic is not over. Let us continue to abide by all health and safety guidelines as stipulated by the government. At LASUBEB, we are determined to leave no child behind in our quest to improve the standard of basic education in our state. Thank you.
Hello pupils, you are welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home, a program sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB. It is to ensure that you are academically engaged in addition to what you're learning in school. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and with me I have your wonderful teachers.
Hello children, I am Uncle Agbaje, your mathematics teacher. You call me the math magician.
Uncle Popo is here, your general studies teacher.
And we are privileged to have our active sign language interpreter in the house. That is Uncle Niyi. And together, we are bringing the classroom into your home. Please stay tuned. Once again, you're welcome to Auntie Fumi's class. Today in our English Studies lesson, we'll learn how to write letters of appreciation. You will say Auntie Fumi and letter writing? Yes. We need to learn how to write different types of letters. Today, our focus is on writing letters of appreciation. But before we go into the learning objective for today, let's have the correction to our homework. Did you do your homework? Are you sure? Then good job you. Let's see. Correction to previous homework. Don't forget that our topic for our last lesson was determiners. We were asked to fill in the spaces with a and the or some. Number one. Some of the girls came late. Some of the girls came late. Did you choose some as your letter, as your answer? Then mark, you're correct. Number two, Messi is a famous footballer. Messi is a famous footballer. The answer is A. That is the indefinite article. I drank some milk an hour ago. I drank some milk when? An hour ago. Yes. Lolade bought the apple and the bread. You can also say Lolade bought an apple and the bread. Whichever one you've written, you're correct. Please mark. Number 5. The chief of Otubu is an honest man. The chief of Otubu is an honest man. There. And the last one, an umpire is needed for the game. An umpire is needed for the game. And is the answer. Auntie Fumi got everything. What about you? Are you sure? Oh, you missed 2 or 3 out. There's no problem. I still celebrate you with a chair. Good job, you. Now to the learning objective for this lesson. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to write a letter of appreciation correctly. You should be able to do what? You should be able to write a letter of appreciation correctly. Now to the lesson. It is always a good idea to write a letter of appreciation. It is always a good idea to write a letter of appreciation, to express thanks and gratitude to someone who has provided help or assistance to you. There are some people, in one way or the other, they have touched your life. They've made you happy at some point. They have been of assistance to you. In addition to you saying it verbally, appreciating them verbally, you can as well write a letter of appreciation to them so that you express your thanks or your gratitude for what they have done for you. Being appreciated matters to people. That is a fact. Being appreciated matters to people. If your mommy gives you anything, maybe a gift, or your daddy bought something for you, and the next day you didn't remember to say, mommy or daddy, thanks for yesterday, do you think they will be happy with you? No, they won't. So, being appreciated matters to people. When we make it a habit to notice the things that others do well or the ways in which they help us, we give them a boost that encourages them to keep doing their best. When you say, daddy, thanks for the ice cream you bought for me, you're reminding daddy, keep buying it. When you say, mommy, thanks for that beautiful dress you bought for me, your mommy will be ready to buy more beautiful things for you. So it encourages them to keep doing their best. That is the essence of being appreciated. Now, talking about appreciation letters. Appreciation letters aren't difficult to write. Reviewing a sample letter of appreciation and learning some tips may make it even easier for you. Writing appreciation letter is as easy as ABC. Now, how do we write an appreciation letter? How to write an appreciation letter? Your appreciation letter doesn't have to be long. Keep it simple and sincere. Here is what to include. What are those things you must know about writing an appreciation letter? The first thing is greeting or the introduction. Greeting. In most cases, I, Bola, I, Oluwafemi, I, Ayo will do. But in more formal correspondence, like when you're writing to your boss, a manager, or your teacher, dear Mrs. Badejo, for an example, it's a better choice. In very formal correspondence, you use their Mr., their Chief, their Mrs., then the last name. Instead, that is in more formal correspondence. The next thing to note is the body. In the body of a letter, or in the body of an appreciation letter, you must name that thing the recipient helped you with. That thing that he has done for you that makes you want to appreciate or express appreciation to him or her. So you must name it. Although it's fine to express general gratitude from time to time, you may have something like, thanks for always being willing to lend a hand when I need you. This means that the person has been helping you or making you happy or being of assistance to you on regular basis. So that's why you said, thanks for always being willing to lend a hand when I need you. When you want to refer to a specific event, it is more effective. Referring to a specific event is more effective. You can have something like, thanks for putting in extra time to make our presentation a success. Thanks for putting in extra time to make our presentation a success. Or thanks for visiting me when I was sick. Thanks for buying this. You have to be specific so that you'll be able to name that thing that the recipient has egged you with. Give a few specific details. You could include things that the person did that were especially useful to you, or give an example of how the person went above and beyond, how the person went out of his or her way to be of assistance to you. Details show the person you are correspondent with or that you were paying attention to their efforts. When you mention those things or name those things that the person has done, you are giving that person the opportunity to know that you are paying attention to his or her or their efforts, rather, that you are paying attention to their efforts. And the third part is the closing. End the letter with a closing line and your signature. You can have an example like, thanks again, as an example. Now, let's see sample letter of appreciation for good work. Sample letter of appreciation for good work. Here's a sample. Hi, Yetunde. Thank you for assisting our guest speakers during the workshop last week. You went out of your way to make everyone feel comfortable. I spotted you were not only getting people their presentation materials, but also giving them water and coffee. If anyone needed anything, you were there to provide it for them. All of our speakers mentioned how helpful you were. Your thoughtfulness and attention to details help forge lasting relationships. We couldn't have done it without you. Thanks again, Titilayo. You can notice that in the sample, after the greeting, the person focused on how the person was of tremendous help to her. He named what Yetunde did and how she has been of assistance to her in the course of the workshop, which was held previously. So he did this and he gave the closing. Thanks again, Titilayo. This is a sample. Let's look at another one. Now, here is a sample letter of appreciation to a boss. This is now a formal type of appreciation letter. Let's say, dear Mrs. Ijitusin, I would like to express my deepest appreciation for your excellent mentoring during my period of work at Classio Institute. You not only celebrated my wins, you turned every mistake into a learning opportunity. Your guidance has been influential, and I know it will shape my developing skills and habits as I move into my professional career. Warmest regards, Ayo. Let's look at another sample, the third one. This is a sample letter of appreciation for support. Dear Johnson, thank you for your support during my family crisis. There was a crisis and Johnson was of help to him. I am deeply grateful not only for covering my workload while I was away, but also for the times you checked in on me. Knowing you had my back allowed me to focus on my family's needs, which is a kindness I will never forget. I appreciate everything you've done more than you will ever know. Thanks again, Richard. You've been able to see 3 different samples of appreciation letters. The one written to a friend, the one written to a superior officer, that is your boss, and the one written to another friend. The one that is informal and the one that is a little bit formal. Now it's activity time. Let's see how attentive you have been in the course of the lesson. In the next 1 minute, you are to write only the body of an appreciation letter, thanking the Lagos Subeb chairman for the classroom in your home program. Yes, just the body. Yes, just within the next 60 seconds, that is 1 minute, write the body, and your time starts now. Hi, Somi. Have you been able to write something? Different bodies. Oh, you've not been able to finish it. No problem. You must be ready. Okay, you are eager to finish it up, and there's not enough time. Don't worry. I'm going to give it to you as an assignment. For your assignment, just make sure you write a full appreciation letter thanking the Lagos Suburb chairman for the Classroom in Your Home program. Now you're going to write a full one. That is the greeting, the body, and the closing. And I am expecting you to submit to the WhatsApp number. Make sure you do your homework. No homework, no packs off. Good Life Magic Juice. And that's it for today. We have come to the end of the English Studies lesson for today. It's been fun learning how to write appreciation letters. And I know you are eager to write appreciation letters to those people that have made you happy, that have been of help to you. It's a good thing. It's time for me to hand you over to the mathematician, Onkwagbaje, for another fun-filled mathematics lesson. But don't forget, Auntie Fumi is always proud of you. Good job, you.
Hello, how are you today? It's mathematics time with Uncle Agbaje. Hello, Uncle Agbaje. It's mathematics time and we want to have some fun. Hello children, you're welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is mathematics time and that means it's time to have some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. Today we will still continue our work on basic operations, but we're going to be looking at applications of division to solving real-life problems. That's the essence of mathematics. First, the correction to that homework which you were given. You were asked to divide 248.4 by 0.46, then 14,400 by 64. And so we're going to begin with the first one. Of course, you remember that we're going to pretend as if the decimal points are not there. We just ignore. And then we divide by 46. And so bring in that table which I explained to you in the last class. 46 times 1 is 46. 46 times 2, of course, is 92. And then 46 times 5, just take half of 46, which is 23, and add 0 to it. When you have that table, you are ready to divide. So we divide 2484. It's 2,484. Now, picking the number that can stay underneath this page, it will be 230. And that is 46 times 5. Then we add 1 zeros to both sides and subtract. We get 184. And here, we cannot put 46 or 92 or 23. So we just put 92 under 84, like this. And that is for 6 times 2. I'm sure that that is the way you did yours. But this method, you cannot make mistake. Even if you put a wrong number, as long as you're still subtracting, you will always get to the final answer. It may just take more steps. All right. So subtracting, we get 92. And then we can still subtract 92, which is 46 times 2 again. And we'll get 0. Adding all this together, we get 50 plus 2 plus 2. And now we get 54. But we must remember that there are decimal points. And we have to fix that decimal point. So what do? Let me get a white pen here. Okay. Now, we have 54. And then the dividend is 248.4. It has one decimal place. So we take one decimal place like this. So that decimal point is now between 5 and 4. But the divisor has two decimal places, so we'll move forward 2 times. And that is 1, back to where we started, and then 2. So we have a space. And of course, this space will be filled with 0. So our final answer is 540, as you will see. So a 0 comes, and the decimal point is after that 0. So our answer is 540. Did you have issues fixing that decimal point? Well, you'll get enough chance to practice your placement of decimal points with today's lesson. Let's check out the next one. This one should be easy. No decimal points involved. 14,400 divided by 64. And of course, 64, that's the table there. 64 times 1 is 64. 64 times 2, just double all the digits. 6 times 2 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. You get 128. 64 times 5, take half of each digit, you get 32. And then you put a 0, that's 320. That's what we're working with. So now we want to subtract, do repeated subtraction here. So which number falls there? Conveniently, that will be 128, because 64 cannot stay here and 32 cannot stay here. Under 3, it's not possible to subtract. And that 128 is 64 times 2. We must write that. Now we have 2 spaces, so we'll fill with 2 zeros. 2 zeros on this side and 2 zeros on the other side. Then we can subtract. What do we get? We get 1,600. What can stay under this place? 128 again is what will stay there. So we'll put 128. And what do we get? We get 64 times 2. Now we'll put 1 0 here and 1 0 there, and that's 64 times 20 on the other side. Then we subtract, we'll get 320. And of course, 320 is already there. So we just subtract, and we get 0. 320 is 64 times 5. Now we've been able to subtract 64 in 200 places, 20 places, and 5 places. Add everything together. Our answer, of course, is 225. Since there is no decimal point involved, this is our final answer. Is that what you got, my friend? Excellent job, you. I will celebrate you with a chair. But if you did not get it right, well, do not worry, my friend. We have enough chance to practice today with today's lesson. The objectives are very simple. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to interpret real-life problems on division. You should be able to solve real-life problems on division of whole numbers and decimals as well. And of course, that interpretation, there is nothing much to it. We have explained in the last class that anytime we have to share something into equal parts, that's division. Anytime we have to repeatedly subtract the same number, that is division. So these are the 2 variants of the problem. Let's just begin. Many real-life problems can be solved by simple division of numbers. Okay, you do not need to go and call Albert Einstein to come and solve the problem for you. You yourself can solve the problem by simply dividing. So to consider this problem. The school is planning a field trip, like an excursion. There are 231 students in the school and 33 seats on each bus. Okay, so the school wants to know how many buses they have to get to take all the children on the excursion. So each bus has 33 seats. How many buses will we need? Is this a division problem? If it's a division problem, what kind of division problem is it? Well, let's see. This is a division problem based on repeated subtraction. And that is because if you bring the first bus, you can fit in 33 children. You remove 33 children from the 231 children. Another bus comes, remove 33 children. Another bus comes, remove 33 children. You keep removing 33, and that's repeated subtraction. And so our immediate challenge is just to divide 231 by 33. And of course, we already know how to do that. We only need to be careful. Today we are dealing with odd numbers. And so 33 times 1 will always be 33. 33 times 2, just double the digits. But we're multiplying by 5. Remember, you have to subtract 1 from here. Okay. Now 32. Half of 32 is 16. Then instead of ending with 0, we end with 5. We've done that on the Magic Tuesday. This is where we apply it. Okay, having that table ready, now we write 231. Which of these numbers will stay under? 33 cannot stay under, 66 cannot stay under, 33 cannot stay under, only 16, and that is 165. 165 is 33 times 5. Subtracting, we get 66. All right. Now 66 is already there, so we just subtract 66. And 66 is 33 times 2. Now, subtracting 66 from 66, we get 0. That's the end of that. But we have been able to subtract 33 5 times and 33 2 times. Altogether, we've been able to subtract 33 7 times. Okay? And so what does this mean? When we divide 231 by 33, we get 7. And so, in answer to the question, how many buses are needed for the trips? We say, therefore, 7 buses will be required for that trip. That means that we will need 7 buses to transport the children. Put 33, 33, 33 in each of the buses, you get all the 231 children. But just to be sure, we can do the check. Okay, so selection. If we have 33 children for 7 buses, that's 33 in 7 places. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 3 is 21. Then plus the 2 from the first 21, that will be 23. So we get 231, which is the total number of children. So 33 children in 7 buses, all the children are complete. Are we together? Together we are. Let's check out the next example. Let us consider this problem. A bottle of medicine contains 31.5 centiliters. That's the amount of drug or syrup in the bottle. Now, Umar takes 0.45 cl for each dose. Okay, so that means that every time he's expected to take a dose, he takes 0.45 centiliters. And he doesn't take more than that, because that would be drug abuse. I'm sure Uncle Popo has taught you drug abuse. All right. So if he keeps taking 0.45 centiliters, how many doses are there in the bottle? That means how many doses will he take until the bottle is emptied? Much like that problem with Bola and the tank of water where she fetches 8 liters each. Something like that here. Okay, so this, of course, is a division problem. It's a division problem based on repeated subtraction. And that is because every time Umar has to take a dose, he will take just 0.45 centiliters. 0.45 centiliters, that one is removed. 0.45 centiliters, removed. 0.45 centiliters, and it keeps removing 0.45 centiliters. And so instead of removing 0.45 centiliters all the time, we know that it is repeated subtraction, and that means it is a division problem. Now, to now know the number of doses in the bottle, that means how many times will Umar have to remove 0.45 centiliters before the bottle becomes empty. Okay, and so to get that, we just simply divide the whole amount of syrup in the bottle, which is 31.5, by 0.45, which is the number of repeated doses that Umar has to take. Okay, so we have to do 31.5 divided by 0.45. And this shouldn't be a problem for you, my friend, because even though it's a decimal division, you have been taught. Let's just see how we're going to do it. So the significant digits is what we need. And here we're dividing by 0.45. We just take out the 45. 45 times 1 is 45. 45 times 2, of course, is 90. Then for 45, to multiply by 5, just remove 1, you get 44. Half of 44 is 22. Then you add 5. We have done that in Magic Tuesday. Then we begin to subtract. We ignore the decimal point in 31.5 and just write 315. Now we have 45, we have 90, and we have 22. Which one can stay underneath here? Of course, 45 can stay, 90 can stay, 22 will stay. So we just subtract 225, and that 225 is 45 times 5. Now let us subtract. What do we get? We get 90. Then which number from those three, 45, 90, and 225, will stay here? Of course, 90 is already there. So we just subtract 90. And that 90 is 45 times 2. We have to write it in front. Then we subtract and we get 0. 90 minus 90 is 0. We are done with this part. But this is the part where we need. How many times were we able to subtract 45 from 315 to get to 0? That's, we removed 45 in 5 places and 45 in 2 places altogether. 45 in 7 places. 5 plus 2 is 7. But is this our final answer? Of course not. Because we were supposed to divide 31.5 by 0.45 in the first place. So we need to fix that decimal point. So how to fix the decimal point? Well, we write 7. Decimal point is always going to be on the right. Do not forget that. 7 units. Then for the dividend, the number we are dividing, there is 1 decimal place. So we'll move the decimal point back 1 time. Then for the divisor, there are 2 decimal places. So we move it back to the front 2 times. 1, 2. And now there is a space. The decimal point has ended up here. So we have to fill this space with 0. And that means that our final answer is 70. So 70 is our final answer. Now I'm sure that you are ready for some of your own. So there are 70 doses in the bottle, as we have said. Take this down and do it on the 1 minute. I've helped you with the box, which you're going to need. 6,075 naira is shared equally among 27 men. How much money will each person get? Of course, this is a division problem that is based on sharing. The table you need is right there. You have 1 minute. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you are done. Let's just walk through it together. By now, you should be familiar with the repeated subtraction method of division and you should be having fun. Okay, so having given you the table that you needed, then we have to look at the numbers here. 27, 54, 13, which is the largest that can stay here. Of course, 54 can stay here, so we write 54. And that is 27 times 2, as you can see from there. Then we'll fill these 2 spaces with 0 and 2 zeros there as well to balance everything out. Now we can subtract. And so when we subtract 5,400 from this, we get 675. We'll still continue subtracting. Which of these numbers can stay here? The largest, of course, is still 54. So we'll put 54 here. And that is still 27 times 2. Then we add 1 0 here and 1 0 there. And everything balances out. Now we subtract and we get 135. So now 135 is already there, so we just subtract it. That 135 is 27 times 5, so we write it out. Subtracting 135 from 135, we get 0. And now how many times have we been able to subtract 27? We've been able to subtract it 225 times, which of course is our final answer. Did you get it right? Excellent job, you, my friend. If you did not, you have enough chance to practice with the homework, which is coming up right about now. Copy this. You have 20 seconds. Hello children, you are welcome to this segment of mathematics lesson. It is Magic Tuesday, where I show you a lot of shortcuts in mathematics. Today, we will look at how to identify numbers that can be divided by 9 without even dividing by 9. Of course, by now you know that I love 9. 9 is a magic number. Okay, so how do we know multiples of 9? Let me test you. Look at these 2 numbers. One of them, 9 can divide. Which one do you think it is? In 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you think it's 969 or 756? Well, if you pick 569, my friend, you will not be correct. Because if we divide 969 by 9, we will get 107, but there will be a remainder of 6. And that means that 9 is not a factor of 969. However, If you divide 756 by 9, you will get 84 with a remainder of 0. No remainder, which means that 9 can go in 756. Okay, so don't let the 9s confuse you rather. If numbers have 9, that does not mean that 9 will divide. What is the trick? How do you know? Some numbers may not have 9 and yet 9 will divide, like this one, my friend. How do we know? We know that 9 is a factor of a number. If we add up all the digits, we get a sum, and 9 can go in that sum. Let's check out an example. 756, that first number. We have 756 to be made up of 7, 5, and 6. So you just add quickly. 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 9 can go in 18, right? That means that 9 can go in 756. It's as simple as that. Sometimes you may need to divide quickly. You don't know which numbers can go. Just add the digits and check if 9 can go in the sum. If 9 can go in the sum, it can go in the number. Check out another one. This one does not even have any 9. In fact, it ends with 2. It's an even number. But 2412, 2412. Let's add the digits. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And so 9 is a factor of 9 itself. That means that 9 can go in 2412. It's as simple as that. However, if you look at this other one, 969, let's add the digits together. 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 9 is 24. 9 cannot go in 24, and so that means that 9 cannot go in 969. In fact, if I had 9, about 10 nines or as many nines as possible, 9 will still not be able to go because it will not be adding up to a multiple of 9. And so 9 cannot go in 24, and that means 9 is not a factor of 969. So to know if a number is a multiple of 9, if 9 can go in a number, just add the digits. If the sum is a multiple of 9, then 9 is a factor. That's it for today, my friend. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I will hand you over to Uncle Popo for the General Studies lesson. Till I come your way in the next lesson, remain wonderful mathematicians.
Hello, pupils. You are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here.
I am also here.
Good. We are here together.
100% attention.
Brilliant one. 100% attention is what I want you to give me in today's lesson. Our subject for today is social studies. In our last lesson, we talked about wages and income. There we talked about standard of living, and we talked about the reasons why some people have higher salary than others. So we discussed all that in our last lesson. Today's lesson will be an interesting one, as I have another interesting topic, and the topic is unemployment. Say that. Unemployment is the topic. Now, the learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to define employment and unemployment. You should be able to list and explain problems caused by unemployment. And you should be able to state ways to reduce unemployment in Nigeria. As you have been told that the topic is unemployment, still we need to define what employment is first. Let's get to know what employment is. Employment is a situation where a person is engaged in a job to earn a living. Employment is a situation where a person is engaged in a job to earn a living. Just like in one of our lessons where we talked about different professionals, teachers, lawyers, bankers, those ones are gainfully employed and they are earning their living through that. Now, on to unemployment. Let's define it. Unemployment means not having any job to do to earn a living. Unemployment means not having any job to do to earn a living. It's just a situation where somebody is not having any job that can fetch him or her money. maybe weekly, maybe monthly. So it's not even having any job that can fetch him or her money. That's when we can say such a person is unemployed. So it means not having any job to do to earn a living. What are the problems caused by unemployment? Problems caused by unemployment. So we will discuss in details in that. The first one is underdevelopment. Say that. Underdevelopment. That's the first problem. When one is not employed, the society will suffer it because the skill that such a person, maybe the person has finished university and he or she has acquired certain skills, but it's not, he or she is not employed. So the skill will just be there and will not be able to use it for the development of the country, of the society. As a result of that, there will be underdevelopment. Let's look at another problem caused by unemployment. This one, the next one is crime. Say that. Crime. That is why, especially during elections, we have some, let me just say some youth, not all, few one, those are not employed, lured into crime, into doing some certain things that are against the law. Because at the time they're supposed to be at work, they don't have any work to do. So anybody can just give them peanuts to commit or to do certain things against the law of the society. Next one is immorality. Say that. Immorality. That's why you say many people are doing strange things that are against our conduct, that are against our belief, that are against our tradition today, because they don't have means of getting income and they just believe that they can do anything, even if it is odd in the society, just to give them token to feed them. So they go into different, they are into different immorality acts. Like we have some people going into prostitution, and we have different of such immoralities. So because of unemployment, this is another problem. Immorality, people going into different immoralities. Next one is loss of skills previously acquired. Loss of skills previously acquired. That's another problem caused by unemployment. We have many graduates that have finished universities and are not working, and all the skills they have learned at universities, gradually they will be losing some of those skills because they are not practicing it. And some 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, they are not practicing those skills. There's no way they won't forget, or they won't forget all those skills they have learned at university. So if they eventually employ them, I don't think I don't think they will be able to perform as they suppose. Maybe after some years they can now pick up. But the fact still remains that unemployment, one of the problems is loss of skills previously acquired. Person that is not employed will lose the skills that he has acquired. And next one is begging. What did I say? Begging. We have many people now that are on the streets begging for alms. At times you'll see young ones, you see old, you see children. Some will even dress corporates. They will look very, very fine, and they'll be knocking on the people's door. They'll be begging on the street, brother, please help me, give me, I need this, I need that. It's just, that's one of the problems. Begging people just to find any means to feed themselves. Some are into that, going on the street, and they have taken that one as their job, begging around the street. And what caused it? Unemployment. Some are graduates, some have acquired certain skills, but because no job, and they were into begging. I am not saying begging is a good job or is a job. Next one is poverty. Yes, this is the major one, poverty. Unemployment has made the society the way it is now, because many people, they don't have a job to do. Then when someone does not have a means of any income or earning a living, poverty is at the corner. So when the rate at which a society or a country is rated among the poorest or the poor countries, will check the percentage of the people that are not employed in that society or in that country. If you have many people not employed, that means the poverty rate of that society, of that country, will be high. So unemployment problem that is posing to the society is poverty. Next one is, now having looked at the problems caused by unemployment, now let's check the ways of solving those problems. Ways of solving problems caused by unemployment in Nigeria. What are the ways to solve those problems? The first one is people should develop necessary skills that will enable them to become self-employed. People should develop necessary skills that will enable them to become self-employed. We have many of graduates that are not definitely employed maybe in companies, but we still have some of them because of they are not employed in the company of their choice. They have learned some certain skills and they are able to get a living through that. So if the advice is that people should just develop necessary skills that will enable them to become self-employed. If government is not employing you or private organization, you can set up a business for yourself through that skills, and unemployment rate in Nigeria will be reduced. Next one is the government and banks should provide soft loans at low interest rate. Soft loans, that means the such loan giving out money to people at low interest rate to unemployed people so that they can establish small scale businesses. That's another way to reduce unemployment rate in Nigeria. Although government has been giving out loans to people, government and banks have been giving out soft loans to people. So that's another way. Next one is more industries should be established by the government and private entrepreneurs to provide more jobs. More industries should be established by the government and private entrepreneurs to provide more jobs. Yes, that's another way to reduce unemployment rate in Nigeria. If we have more industries established and if we have enabling environment for those industries to survive. There's another thing to establish an industry, is another thing for that industry to survive in that society. So enabling environment for the industry to survive, and the more industries are established, it will help to reduce unemployment rate in Nigeria. In today's lesson, we talked about unemployment, and you were told that unemployment means not having any job to do to earn a living. Problems caused by unemployment were discussed: underdevelopment, crime, loss of skills previously acquired, begging, loss of self-esteem, poverty. And ways of solving problems caused by unemployment were also suggested. 1, people should develop necessary skills that will enable them to become self-employed. 2, the government and banks should provide soft loans at low interest rates to unemployed people so that they can establish small-scale businesses. More industries should be established by the government and private entrepreneurs to provide more jobs. And the government should establish agricultural farms and encourage young people to go into agriculture and all that. So we have come to the end of today's lesson. But before we go, it's time for evaluation. Evaluation time, activity time. So I have 3 questions. Are you set? Question number 1. Define unemployment. Question number 2, state 3 problems caused by unemployment. Question number 3, write 2 ways of reducing unemployment. You have 40 seconds to do this. Your time starts now. Eyes on me. Uncle Popo is there. I believe you are still there. So let's mark together. Unemployment. Unemployment means not having any job to do to earn a living. 3 problems caused by unemployment. We talked about many, more than 3 problems, but any of the 3 you write is correct. Underdevelopment, crime, loss of skills previously acquired, begging, immorality, and so on. 2 ways of reducing unemployment. Talked about many ways, but people should develop necessary skills that will enable them to become self-employed. The government and banks should provide soft loans at low interest rates to unemployed people so that they can establish small-scale businesses. And subjects, curriculum planner should also make some subjects, some skill acquisition subject as core subject in schools. That is it for today. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Until next time, next lesson, Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
My wonderful pupils, we have come to the end of another exciting episode of the Classroom in Your Home.
Hope that you have had fun and hope that you have learned something tangible today. Now, the link for today's online assessment is bit.ly/LASUBEB lesson 74. Link again is bit.ly/LASUBEB lesson 74. Remember, this online assessment are our way of knowing how well you are performing so that we can help you to improve on your performance.
Taking the online assessment is based on if you have access to either your daddies, your mommies, your uncles, or your aunties Android the smartphones. If not, you don't have any problem. Just send your questions, your comments, and your assignment to 081 50 86 5663. Please, SMS and WhatsApp messages only. Do not call that line. And when you're sending in your assignment, make sure you indicate your name,
Your school,
Your class,
and your local government education authority. That's your LGA. This is the only way we'll be able to identify you and appraise you accordingly.
all the lessons taught today and the previous ones are on Lagos Subeb YouTube channel for you to watch at your own preferred time, or you want to watch over and over again. Subscribe to Lagos Subeb YouTube channel to get notification when new videos are uploaded. The Classroom in Your Home could be watched live on Facebook, the same time airing on television, through the page showing on the screen.
Till our next lesson, when we shall meet again for another wonderfully packaged edition of the Classroom in Your Home, make sure you do your homework.
Wash your hands regularly.
keep studying hard and
Stay safe. LASUBEB,
Leave no child behind.